All right, guys, so we got my Stoeger M3500 here, and I've had this gun for roughly 9 years now. I want to go ahead and talk about it and give you my long-term review, some of the pros and the cons of this gun, then my overall opinion. Since getting it brand new, I've had a couple issues with it, not much, but a few things, and then there's a little bit that I've learned about it, so I figured I'd go ahead and share that with you. So I use this gun to pretty much hunt anything that I would with shotgun. So think squirrels, rabbits, quail, pheasants, ducks, geese, turkeys. One of the nice things about it, if you are pursuing larger game such as geese or turkeys, the 3500 takes 3.5-inch shells, whereas I believe the 3000 only takes 3-inch shells. So I don't use 3.5s a lot, but it is kind of nice to have that option, and I do use them for turkey or goose hunting, so it's nice being able to put that in. I just pretty much have one shotgun that'll do it all, so kind of cool in my opinion. So it's got a long 28-inch barrel on this, which is nice when you're pursuing things that are going to be further out, especially like waterfowl, for example. And then mine here has the wrap on it. You don't have to get it wrapped. They come without, and I believe it's like $100 less if you don't get it with the wrap. Personally, I do like having this wrap on here, and one of the main reasons is because it covers the metal, so I actually have less cleaning to do on the gun. Like after I'm done hunting, pretty much just have to worry about the inside of the barrel, and then the inner chamber, if I've been out like in the rain or something, or it's just been run through a lot, then I'll clean this. But I don't have to worry about like wiping down the metal barrel because it's coated and it's protected. So that is one of the convenient things about getting it wrapped. You don't have to. Personal preference, in my opinion. So beyond that, I have run a lot of loads through this gun. It's definitely broken in. I believe the manufacturer recommends running like 200 heavy loads through the gun to break it in initially. If you're going to be using this for small game, maybe squirrels, doves, quail, for example, this gun does very well for that, but it sometimes will have issues cycling lighter loads. So if you have a lighter velocity load, it may jam every once in a while. I still have that happen to me occasionally. Typically I use heavier velocity target load, like when I'm dove hunting, for example, and I don't have issues with it jamming. But if I forget and I have lighter loads of munitions that I take out with me, I may get a jam shell every once in a while. So even though it's broken in, you might want to keep that in mind. Use heavier velocity loads and it cycles better. So otherwise though, I don't really have cycling issues with it on heavier loads, really. Like I waterfowl hunt with this a lot, and I really don't hardly ever have any issues with it cycling that. So it does very well with heavy loads. Besides that, I've really only had 2 issues with the gun. And again, I've owned it for 9+ years. So that's really not bad in my opinion. And there weren't major things either. They were just like the first one, for example, the end of this, when you take this out to where your plug would be, when I bought this, and they probably still come this way, when you open it up to where you're going to get to the plug, this cap here sets in deeper, and then the plug, this is actually an aftermarket one, it sits inside of this. So think below this metal piece here. Well, when I first got the gun, one of my first hunts, I was using it, and a shell jammed underneath here, and I couldn't get out. So I was going to take my barrel off, basically, to get it out. Well, when I did that, there was so much pressure in here that it shot the metal cap out along with my plug and the spring into the duck marsh. And needless to say, I never found that. So I contacted Stoeger customer service, and they're actually really good about taking care of it, quick, didn't charge me anything. They sent out the parts that I needed for that. I got it put back in my gun. Actually took it to a sports center, and they charged me like $15 to do that and get a plug and cut it down for me. So really not a major issue. Stoeger is really good about taking care of that. It's unfortunate for me that happened, but you know, it is what it is, and they took care of it, and I have not had anything like that happen since, which has been good. I will say, being the M3500 and taking 3.5-inch shells, my area, for example, you can only have 3 shells in your gun. So 1 loaded and 2 chambered. So the plug that I got with it, it would be fine for the 3-inch shells, but on the 3.5s, I would only be able to chamber 1. So I could only have 2 shells in my gun because of the plug length. So basically, we cut my plug down a little bit to where it still prevents more than 2 being chambered on the 3 and the 2 and, was it 2 3/4 shells, but to where I could get 2 3.5-inch shells in the chamber. So that might not be an issue to you, but just something to keep in mind that I hadn't thought about previously. Another thing I had happen to me with this gun is it wasn't cycling my load. So when I would fire a shell, it would still shoot, but I can only shoot one at a time, like a single action. And so when I would fire, my shell would shoot, but it wouldn't eject the shell. Basically, I can only shoot one at a time. It wouldn't eject the shell to give me problems. Well, what I found out on that is there is a big spring. So this is an inertia-driven gun, not gas. So in terms of cleaning, you're probably gonna have to clean it less because everything is like chambered out through the barrel and it doesn't go back inside. But there's a big inertia spring inside of the receiving bolt here, and those can break. And I found that out because mine broke. And so that's why it wasn't kicking the shells out like it was supposed to, is that spring that is inside of here broke. And so it's really not difficult to disassemble and take these apart. If you do get one of these or want to learn about that, I have another video that'll be attached at the end of this one. They'll show you how to do that. But anyways, inside of here, there was a spring and it was broken in half. So I took that out, dumped the spring out, and sure enough, it was, split in half. So I was able to go online and order a replacement spring. I think it was like 10, 15 bucks, nothing major. And my gun was back in order. So that's been the only technical issues I've had with this gun. Besides that, it's been all around a very good value gun. My opinion, for the price and the amount of use I've got out of it, and the fact that it's still in good working condition, I still use it heavily. It's been a good investment for me. I would recommend this. I know some people don't like Stoegers. For example, my brother, he had a M3000. He didn't like his. Meanwhile, I've loved mine. So everyone's got different opinions. I've had really no issues with this gun besides what I talked about. It's been a good value gun for me, and I would highly recommend these. I do like Stoeger guns. They're owned by Benelli. It's the parent company, but Stoeger is made in Turkey and not Italy, like where Benelli, I believe, still makes theirs, but they used to at least. So anyways, yeah, my opinion, overall, well-rounded gun. The only other thing I would say about this when I first bought it and got it out of the box, and maybe this is just me not knowing because I was new to this, but when I went to assemble this, I was having a really hard time doing it. And by assemble, I mean basically just put the barrel on the gun. Well, inside of here, when you unscrew this, there is a metal ring that goes around the barrel here, and that's inside this composite, so you're not able to see it, but it's in there. Well, when you slide that over the shell tube inside of here, sometimes that doesn't line up exactly, so you may have to use your finger to pull it back as you slide it in there, and then it'll go over and slide in. But I was having some issues with that when I first got it. I couldn't figure that out. I was like, what the heck? Once I figured that out, it's no big deal at all. It's pretty quick and easy to do. But if you do get one of these and you're having a little bit of maybe trouble getting the barrel over, that's all you gotta do is just hold some pressure down on it and it'll slide right over. So again, Stoeger M3500, inertia-driven gun, shoots 3.5-inch shells, and I think it's a very good budget and value gun, and I really don't have any complaints with it because I use this for everything. I like it. So hope you guys found this review helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment below, and thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your time. Good luck out there this season.